车 GT 指定红酒合作伙伴潘帕斯，以及 GT 指定天然饮用水合作伙伴多洛米亚。2019 GT 中国超级跑车锦标赛上海站电商合作伙伴天猫汽车。2019 GT 官方指定产品东明石化。2019 GT 中国超级跑车锦标赛汽车内饰轻奢品牌指定合作伙伴普达斯。那我们相信现场的朋友们都知道。 GT 2019年从东南亚、马来西亚雪邦到宁波，再到上海，一步一步紧跟我们的丝绸之路，我们紧跟随国家提出的一带一路的步伐，在这条长盛车的经济带上，留下属于中国赛车事业的脚步。2019年是中华人民共和国成立70周年。 是全面建成小康社会、实现第一个100年奋斗目标的关键之年。正是因为党和国家对中国体育事业的正确领导，让我们一同创造了中国赛车的新奇迹。在今后 GT 中国超级跑车锦标赛一定会为中国体育事业的发展贡献出自己的力量。那么今天接下来的时间，我们也要邀请现场的各位领导莅临到 我们的场中间为大家带来精彩的开幕，所以接下来让我们用热烈的掌声有请他们。首先，掌声有请中国汽车摩托车运动联合会主席詹国军，掌声。上海市汽车摩托车运动协会常务副会长黄勇，掌声有请。金港集团 CEO 兼总裁叶明清，掌声有请。 上海九市国际体育中心有限公司党支部副书记李威，掌声有请；阿斯顿马丁中国区总裁彭明山，掌声有请；上海国际赛车场赛场经营中心副总经理潘永勇，掌声有请；米其林亚太赛事总监狄跃之先生，米其林 Asia Patrick Motorsport Director Patrick Dears， 掌声有请。保时捷亚太赛车运动部门负责人季伯安先生，掌声欢迎。And of Porsche Motorsport Asia Pacific Alexander Gibbard， 掌声有请。兰博基尼亚太赛车运动部门经理费杰先生，掌声有请。Lamborghini Motorsport Continental Asia Pacific Mr. John Flee Welcome。杭州益康企业管理咨询有限公司总裁黄斌，掌声有请。北京珠穆朗玛移动通信有限公司8848钛金手机总裁周佳，掌声有请。瑞士高级腕表品牌 Capitans 创始人、董事长、市场部总监 Mr. Class Zoids， 掌声有请。威影资本主席唐肖明，掌声有请。金港股份副总裁谢天，欢迎他。金港股份副董事长兼联席总裁苗立国，掌声有请。接下来，请全体起立。 请全体与会的选手、观众朋友一同起立，奏国歌，行注目礼。 礼毕，观众请坐，有请礼仪和旗手退场。接下来， 我们将有请领导宣布2019 China GT 中国超级跑车锦标赛上海站的正式开幕。让我们把目光锁定前方。那我们接下来把目光锁定前方，下面的时间呢，有请我们的领导，有请叶总为我们带来宣布。来，有请叶总向前一步。
2019中国超级跑车锦标赛 China GT 上海站共有70台赛车。2019中国超级跑车锦标赛 China GT 上海站共有70台赛车，分4个组别，向新中国成立70年敬礼。比赛准备完毕，请张主席指示。
我宣布，2019中国超级跑车锦标赛上海站开幕。
有请我们的领导站在我们的面前，面向我们的镜头，共同合影留念，记录下这难忘瞬间。每一个瞬间都是非常的精彩，每一个瞬间都代表着我们的2019中国超级跑车锦标赛 China GT 上海站的升腾。来，面向我们的镜头。来，我们中间的镜头，面向我们的镜头，镜头老师，可以吗？3、2、1，现场的各位朋友们，让我们再次把掌声送给他们。谢谢，非常感谢我们的领导，谢谢，请回。那接下来的时间，我们要有请车手来到龙门架，再次合影留念。有请我们的工作人员邀请我们的车手。好，再一次感谢我们的各位领导，请回，非常的棒。我们的开幕式现在已经正式为您启动了，有请我们的各位车手来到我们的龙门架前方。再次有请我们场内的各位车手们，有请每一位车手来到我们的龙门架，来到这里，跟喜欢你们的粉丝们、观众们打一个招呼，合影留念。来，有请我们的工作人员抓紧时间。来，这一刻呢，我们也将目光聚焦前方，让我们来看一下这精彩的比赛。有请我们车手向前一步，来到这边来啊！好，谢谢。接下来呢，有请我们的车手向前一次 ，This way please, follow me。This way please, follow me. We're going to take a photo together. Follow me please. This way. 好，有请我们的各位车手来到我们的这个区域，共同合影留念，记录下这个精彩的瞬间。有请我们的各位车手来走近，来到这里，我们站在一起来，面向我们的前方。We can take a group photo together. 那有请我们的车手继续云集啊！我们还有更多的车手来到前方，这样。我们现场在这里的车手，我们给我们的粉丝打个招呼好吗？现场的朋友们， 尖叫声在哪里？哇哦！好，那我们，哇哦，那接下来呢，有请我们的车手抓紧时间啊，我们还有几位车手来到这里。来，面向我们的镜头，看向我们的前方。3、2、1，好，我们伸出我们的大拇指，来面向我们的镜头，再次准备，3、2、1，OK。好，谢谢，非常感谢我们的车手，再一次感谢各位，谢谢。请各位回到自己的车队。那接下来的时间当中呢，我们2019年 China GT 中国超级跑车锦标赛上海站，我们即将为大家拉开战事。这一站将会有怎样的精彩？我们共同期待，也千万不要忘记了，我们有精彩的抽奖以及颁奖环节为您呈现。让我们再次把掌声送给他们。
好的，亲爱的各位观众朋友们，欢迎大家回到2019赛季 China GT 中国超级跑车锦标赛的年度第3站上海站的比赛现场，我是方妮。那大家可以看到，今天的天气呢已经是雨过天晴了，所以也不知道我们身后的15辆赛车即将要进行的是1个小时的 GT4组别的比拼。那么在前天的第2场排位赛当中，在我身后的570号赛车的2位车手董亮和 ratified 再次拿下了杆位，而在昨天。如果大家关注我们节目的话，一定看到了，就是昨天570号赛车从杆位发车，最后夺冠，尤其是在激烈雨战当中的精彩表现。那不知道今天我们最后 GT4组别的比拼，谁将问鼎冠军的宝座呢？Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome back to the China GT Championship right here at Shanghai International Circuit. I'm Sophie Lee. Behind me, 15 cars ready for GT4 category. At the same time, the pole position seater also goes to car number 570. So, who will be crowned as the champion for today? Let's just keep and wait. 那今天呢，在现场我们也非常高兴的有请到了我们 China GT 一直以来的忠实合作伙伴和赞助商8848钛金手机的总裁周家先生。那 welcome Mr. 周家 who is also the CEO of 8848 Titanium Foam. Mr. 周家 welcome to the show. 周家先生啊，其实想跟我们分享一下，今年呢是8848和China GT 合作的第3个年头了，是什么样的神奇魔力使两方能够一直合作下去，而且亲临现场那么多次，是不是每一次都有新的元素 ？New elements for each stop.
我们合作这3年以来呢，我感觉到China GT的赛事办得非常专业，然后赛手的水平呢也非常高。那么我在现场这几年来呢，看到参与的观众越来越多，而且热情都也是越来越高涨的，并且呢，除了8848之外，也有越来越多的品牌一起加入到对这个赛事的赞助之中。我也希望能够尽我们的一点微薄的力量，和其他品牌一起共同支持中国的赛车运动越办越好。好，谢谢。
非常感谢周总，也非常感谢8848助力中国的赛车运动。Mr. Zhou Jia mentioned about actually for each stop, there are increasing crowds and audiences. At the same time, we know there are more sponsors for China GT increasingly by the years. Thank you so much for joining us today. Now it's our time to enjoy a video clip that will show you the highlights from previous races. 那接下来的时间呢，我们一起来共同回顾一下在前面的比赛当中的一些精彩回放。Take a look. 好的，在我身旁的是甘位的570号赛车的其中一位车手董亮。昨天下大雨，昨天客观条件下大雨的条件下呢，视野很有问题。但今天我看到你眼睛好像有一些问题，有一些肿啊，是有什么问题能跟我们分享一下？
对，早上起床之后，然后眼睛有一点发炎，然后现在不是很能够睁开眼睛，所以还不知道会怎样影响我的比赛。
那同样我们知道，就是今年我们全新的规则，因为发车的顺序会有调整，这样对于你的搭档 Charlie 来说，会不会比较有挑战？
肯定啊，因为我们都希望是以正常的状况下顺利去完成这个每个部分的比赛，所以不过怎么说呢？每一场比赛都是一种挑战吧，任何环节你都不知道会发生什么，就像这个眼睛突然受伤，我也不知道会突然发生这样的状况，所以我们只能说是做到我们自己能做的最好。
希望好运，更希望你的眼睛不要太大的影响到今天的整个比赛的过程。So Dong Liang share with us that he had got some infection on the eyes, so a little bit painful. Whether it will affect the final result, doesn't know. But also Charlie gonna lead the whole race. It's still a problem that concerned him a lot. Good luck for you and cross back to your guys. 转回到我们的解说间。
Okay, well, welcome back to Shanghai International Circuit. As you saw and heard from Sophie Lee, the opening race yesterday, round 5 of the championship, plagued by a change in weather conditions. Now today, as you can see, the top of the circuit just above the crowd on the grid and the cars, still a little bit of damp. There is a big channel that runs across the top of the circuit there as they come out of the final corner. Here is the 5.45 kilometre Shanghai International Circuit, another of the Herman Tilke designed F1 circuits, home of the Chinese Formula One Grand Prix. 16 turns, the yin-yang section as they call it, through turns 1, 2, 3, down to turn 6 highlights it as the full Grand Prix circuit. There's often a run through from 4 through 7 to 8. That's not the case on this front. Down to turns 11, 12, 13. 12, 13 affectionately known as the Parabolica. The long back straight down to 14, big jump on the brakes. 15, a bit of a kink, that can get people into trouble. 16, track limits can come into the equation depending on how the race director's feeling and the stewards. And there is a lap of Shanghai International Circuit. Now, I think that's a file image. It's not quite as clear, although that said, there is blue sky in the area. As we went into the GT4 race yesterday, light rain, it was sprinkling. The two numbers you see on the bottom right of screen were 32 and 34 yesterday. So 34 being the ambient temperature. It's 26 today, so 8 degrees cooler. That's working very well into the favour of the teams. Conditions inside the car will be a lot nicer than they were yesterday. Obviously a tad tropical and steamy behind the wheel. 35 minutes maximum run behind the wheel for any of the drivers. Sophie's down there on the grid again. Another surprise interview. Let's see what they have to say.
好，身旁的是从第2位发车的49号车组的蔡梦涛。其实昨天的比赛，这块玻璃回来的时候已经不是完整的了，但是今天通过技师的团队能把车已经恢复，而且从第2位发车。你觉得今天在比赛当中有可能对你带来挑战的是什么内容 ？What is the biggest challenge for the race today？
那就是这个赛道现在比较多变的一个情况吧，因为这个地还是湿的，但是天已经不下雨了。我想这对我们所有车队都是一个挑战，每个人都在赌，到底要用干胎还是湿胎吧，就这样。
谢谢你，因为我也不耽误你的时间，赶紧去和你的队伍的队员去讨论一下接下来战略，好吧？谢谢。Thank you so much. 那刚刚just now we know that Ty mentioned about today the variabilities and impossibilities is very important for the whole race because rain stops. However, the whole track is some part is wet and some part is dry. So he has to negotiate with his teammate about the strategy in the following up races. 那接下来时间将我们的画面转交回解说间 ，cross back to your guys.
Anyway, so moving along, that was James Kay, who Sophie was pointing out had a smashed-in window on the right side after the stop we saw yesterday, getting back to the weather conditions having changed. Light sprinkling rain as we started, and that went through to ultimately become heavy torrential rain, but at the end of the timed pit stop. So as the pit window closed, teams had kind of elected that if the weather had stayed as it was with light drizzling rain, high temperatures, it wasn't really making the conditions too slippery. They'd stay out on slick tyres, but ultimately they all had to come in, but they had to come in as a result of a torrential downpour. The first one off, Lo Ji Ho was running around in second in the number 86 KTM Crossbow GT4. There it is on screen. He will start this race. He was the first one off down at about turn 6, I think it was. Then half the cars, half the field almost, was off down at turn 11. Then they brought out the safety car, brought everybody to a stop. The red flag was out for about half an hour or so. They started, went round one more time, looked like we'd be clear. Another sudden downpour. They declared the race at about 45 minutes because they'd stopped the clock. And that saw Dong Liang and Charlie Fagg take the win. Dong Liang had done a brilliant job up to that point and was going quite well. One who hadn't done such a great job, you see top left of screen, is Rainey He. He starts in the number 6 entry. And unfortunately for him, he collected team boss Chris Chia in the number 5 entry down at turn 6. Here is the number 5 entry. Alex Fontana will start at this time, so slightly different driver lineup. Rainey, who just come back from running in the Nürburgring 24-hour race alongside Sonny Wong, whom he normally competes against. They didn't have a strong start to that race. The number 3 entry, so the Phantom Pro Racing Mercedes entries are positions 3, 4 and 5 to start this race. Of course, the front row, a lockout for the winning team in the McLaren 570S GT4. That would be the brand new 2019 model Aston Martin Vantage GT4, powered by a 4-litre twin-turbo V8 engine. And that is the third of the winning team McLarens. Originally was scheduled to have 4 cars in the field. Alongside that car will start Shannon Fielding, factory driver for the Radical outfit. G55's Radical outfit for the Ginetta outfit. Freudian slip, apologies to Ginetta. Very, very talented young man. Set the 3rd fastest time in opening qualifying. This lap, of course, set by team boss Kenny Chum, the K2C Motorsport operation. That is further back. That would be the 4th row, I think. It might even be further back in this field. So we're chopping between cameras, so apologies for that. Just me keeping up to date with exactly where we are. The BMWs are starting, the Team Master Champ entry of Wang Hao starting from position number 7. And the second of the BMWs, Oscar Lee and Wanho Yao, is starting from position number 13 in the FIS Team AAI entry further back in the field. But what's interesting is they're sitting on the grid side by side. So if you think you're confused, I can tell you I'm a tad confused. Something may have happened as a result of the outright result. This was the qualifying starting positions as per I received last night for this race. So quite clearly, that's 2 BMW M4 GT4s towards the rear of the grid. Now, the car at the very last position, left of screen at the rear, will be Eric Wong starting the Lotus Evora, the Top Gun GT, the GT4 entry, that he shares with Robert Webb. So we got that one right. The front couple of rows of the grid are correct. And it just gets a little messy towards the rear of the field. There were a few penalties as a result of that opening race. It did get messy. Fortunately, it was declared when the result was quite reasonable. Nobody faced a really big challenge. Having said that, Alex Fontana and Chris Chia faced a big challenge. They were equal championship points leaders coming into the round with Will Bamber and Lau Young in the D2 Mercedes. Now, the D2 team apparently are here. They elected not to run either their GT3 or their GT4 entry. Quite 100% certain. There was some story about somebody not being well in that team, so they didn't end up starting the race. So they are not here to defend their championship lead. Unfortunately for Alex Fontana and Chris Chia, that drama down at turn 6 in the opening lap really set them back behind the 8 ball. They did recover to be able to gather 5 points, but they lost a potential 20 points for winning the round, which would have been their second, I think, of the year. Just check that. Alex Fontana third. In fact, they've won round 1 and round 4 of the championship, the opening round of the season. Sepang in Malaysia. It was back in March. And then more recently, the 4th round at Ningbo Speed Park. Those rounds 3 and 4 of the championship. There are the 2 mighty KTM crossbows. Windscreen wipers on. It might just be for spray, I think. It's fairly clear where I am, and I'm looking over to the horizon, which is the direction the weather has been coming from, and it's pretty clear. In fact, shades of blue, so it tends to suggest we're going to get through this one quite nicely. So Dong Liang, interestingly, was talking to Sophie at the start of the race. He He is due to start this race as a result of the victory that he and Charlie Fagg took yesterday. He has moved up 20 points to be 6th in the championship battle, 7th for Charlie Fagg, as he's not completed the full number of races so far this year. Leading the points still Alex Fontana and Chris Cheer, although the margin has closed to just 5 points. No, it hasn't. It's closed to 13 points. The 5 points goes back to Will Bambram, now young third in the championship race. It's Rani Her and Sonny Wong. Sonny Wong not here, so Rani Her really needs to make amends for that drama down at turn 6 in the opening lap of yesterday's race. We hope that the weather's not due to kick back in again. I don't think it is, just making a judgment call. I'd expect now the track is dry enough. Just an hour ago it was still raining. There was a lot of water on the circuit. I would expect they've all changed to the Michelin Control slick tyre. They haven't gone out on wets. Although, as James Kay was reporting to Sophie down there on the grid, there are still channels of water on the circuit, so it'll be a matter of tiptoeing around on those, get the cars up to temperature, the tyres up to temperature, the circuit gets a little bit of heat in it once the cars are running around at speed, and those channels of water should disappear quite quickly. The humidity picking up a little bit as well. Left of screen, Dong Liang. Right of screen will be James Kay. Competes alongside Malaysia's Kenneth Lim quite regularly. Done a lot of GT competition over the years. Been fairly sporadic, so it's nice to see them as part of the winning team. The green McLaren, very impressive. Different tribal lineup, of course, last time out at Ningbo. Has been very impressive. And the winning team, of course, are past champions in this championship. The reigning champions, though, is young Jack Mitchell, the Englishman. You see the water coming off the tyres there still in the run-up to the final corner, so there is a bit of water. There's that channel that runs across the circuit. Crowd on their feet as we come to the line. This is round 6 of GT4 for the 2019 season of China GT. Lights on. And we're underway at last. Left of screen, Dong Liang, very impressive yesterday. What does he have? James Kay maybe winning this drag race. The two KTMs, they don't have the outright performance of the twin-turbo V8 McLarens, but they're very nippy, very nimble. Oh, they've been swamped! Lo Ji Ho got absolutely tagged. That looked like it might have been Alex Fontana. He probably moved across to let the number 6 entry through. That could see a drive-through penalty. That's not the start the championship points leaders need. Now, I'm only surmising that's what's happened. Lo Ji Ho's got going again. After that 360, he's down rear of field. Looks like one of the BMWs might be back down towards rear of field as well. But up front, James Kay has taken a storming lead. What a great run. The 87 entry, the KTM from Extreme Motorsports. Yukai behind the wheel because he drove alongside Lo Ji Ho in the Radical RXC. Now that may be the number 3 entry. No, it's not. It's a surprise. The number 15 entry, which was due to start. Rao Young He from the rear of the field. There's now Liu Kai, looks menacing. You can see the lightweight, there's about 300 kilos difference between the two. A little bit of muscle, a bit of hip and shoulder on the exit. James Kay's been forced wide. That's opened the door for Dong Liang, the two Phantom Pro Racing Mercs. They don't need to be this close. We saw it yesterday. Deep under brakes, that'll be Fontana. Is it? It may well be. Is that the 3 and the 6? Not quite see the car numbers. The livery has changed on the 5. Has the 5 struck trouble? That was championship points leader Alex Fontana. It says in 6th position. I see top of screen coming through the final corner, back behind the 3rd of the McLarens. How's the freight train down the inside, trying to get either the dry line on the circuit or a little bit of a slipstream. 3.8 litre twin turbo V8 versus 6.3 litre naturally aspirated Mercedes thumping AMG. The AMG's gone around the outside, the number 3 entry. What an absolutely storming start from 8th on the grid. Yang Ji is already up to position number 4. James Kay, who had a great run. Shannon Fielding, what can you say about that young man? Started from position number 12, already up to 5th or 6th position. So Liu Kai crosses the line with the lead, making the most of these damp conditions. very hard to judge whether or not they may have started on wets. I don't think so. I can't imagine the circuit is wet enough to warrant that in a 1 hour race. The Control Michelin Wet is a good tyre, but it's not going to withstand a hammering for that length of time, even up to 25 minutes when the pit window opens in this race. That's still a good 21 minutes away. As Yukai continues to storm around. Second place, Yang Ji. Third place to, well, that's the number 6 entry, Yu Wei. He's driving alongside Rainey Her. Oh no, disaster for Shannon Fielding coming out of turn 6. I seem to recall this happening at some stage over the course of the last 5 races. A bit of a technical issue. Now that's the 570. That's Dong Liang. A brilliant start. That's not what he needed to see. Now, did they start on wets and they're changing to slicks? I can't quite see. I've got a very, very small monitor here to be able to determine or whether or not that was just damage to the right rear. There could have been a little bit of contact in the jostling for position in the early laps. Certainly he had the ideal starting position, starting from pole position. And Dong Liang already down pit lane. We spoke about this yesterday. The last thing you need to do in a relatively short 60-minute sprint race is spend more time in pit lane than your allocated compulsory pit stop. That comes in the pit window, 25 to 35 minutes. Outside of that, it's an addition. You can't use it as your compulsory stop. Now, the 2 storming Mercs. Well, Fontana looks like he's got his skates on again. He's going around the outside of the 868 McLaren. And not too far behind James Kay. Yu Wei back in third. Yang Ji doing everything he can to get past Yukai. Yukai's done plenty of miles. He'll be wise to this, but he doesn't have the performance advantage. Turbocharged Audi 2-litre engine and about 300 odd kilos weight advantage for the KTM. That mighty 6.3-litre AMG V8, naturally aspirated. Same engine as the GT3 car. Yukai still holding strong, taking advantage of these conditions. And Yang Ji tucked in right underneath the rear wing, doing his level best to stick with him. Yu Wei still there. Oh, the good drive out of turn 3. Could this be the tonic? You can see the dry line to the right of screen. They're opting more for the dry. There it is on the outside. So that tends to suggest they're slick tyres. More for the damp line if they're on the wets. And you can see that extra horsepower is fantastic, but in slippery conditions, it's not going to do you any favours at all. Alex Fontana back in position number 5, right behind James Kay. That's not the start he would have been hoping for. Did start this race from position 6, so it is an improvement. He was right up towards the front of the field, got around Lo Ji Ho. Now, where is the second of the KTMs? Back in position number 12 after that spin or potential tap. Now, formation lap underway. No. So, I'm just looking at notifications at the bottom of my timing monitor. I just need a microscope to read it, but it's not making any more addition with respect to what might have happened on the run down to turn 1. Lights flashing for Yves Volt. Shannon Fielding, that's good news. He's got going, but back to position number 8. So roll to a stop. Still managed to recharge and get going again. Good weight advantage too. You can see that he's past James Kay. Look at the drive he gets coming out of the Parabolica. Weight advantage to the mighty Ginetta G55 GT4. Powered, of course, by 3.7 litre V6. Oh, just a little bit too deep under brakes. Yang Ji, you can't blame him for having a go, but that's a lot of track position lost. The windscreen wipers have come back on again. Don't take weather predictions from me. It looks like there's light rain on the windows outside my commentary position here, so suddenly things have gotten it very interesting again. Yes, a little bit of rain on the on the lens of the camera. And Yu Kai, he lost a lot of time on the run down the main straight. That's opened the door now. And I'd expect, well, that is the number 3 entry after losing all that drive down at turn 14. He's recovered. Yang Ji is leading this race. 8 minutes in, he's got to the front of the field. Fastest man, purple sector 1, 2 and 3. Shannon Fielding, 2:27 that last lap round. The leaders were doing 2:34s. He's 7 seconds a lap fast. You can see him top of screen. He's already up to, it looks like, position number 4. He really is storming through these conditions. He's taking good advantage of it. No surprise, the young man from the UK is now, Liu Kai goes around the outside again of Yang Ji. No, he won't. Not down there. This is a very testing part of the circuit through 7 into 8. Remember, they're on slick tyres and the conditions are deteriorating. 2:27.7, you can see at bottom right of screen. Shannon Fielding in the K2C Ginetta G55, and there he is, back of that pack. That's position 4. We saw him stop coming out of turn 6 after working his way forward. He's managed to overcome that issue, and the young Englishman, he's done a lot of miles in a Ginetta and a lot of miles in conditions like this and worse in the UK. He is taking full advantage of this. That would be, I fully expect, Alex Fontana. Yep. James Kye behind him, and Yves Volt next one back in that gorgeous new 2019 Aston Martin GT4, powered by what many expect might be the same engine in a future generation of the AMG GT3. Of course, the engine sourced in a partnership with AMG, between AMG and Aston Martin. 4-litre twin turbo. Look at the rain falling now. Well, the back of the circuit defies what I can see out my window looking in the opposite direction. That is quite heavy rain. This will be advantage again, you'd expect, to Liu Kai. Yes, as after all that brilliant work, Yang Ji spun on the exit of the corner. Now, if this gets too much heavier, they may well bring out the safety car. That's not up to me to determine. This happened yesterday. It doesn't seem to have the same level of intensity. Now, the blue skies disappeared just a little. I don't expect this is going to hang around too long, but again, I'm not a weather forecaster. It is terribly unpredictable. We had expected that by about 12 o'clock today, most of the rain had gone. It's currently 12:14 local time. That was the prediction from the Weather Bureau locally. Let's look at Shannon Fielding, storming. Last time round, Shannon Fielding 2:33, the others 35 the race leader, 38 to Liu Kai in that 87 KTM. Now, where's the second of the KTMs? The second of the KTMs is well back and he's now in pit lane. Pit window hasn't opened, so there's a bigger issue, unfortunately, for Lo Ji-ho. That's not what he needed. It wasn't the start he and Lin Kang were looking for after having a good run yesterday. Finished second. Shannon Fielding trying to go around the outside. It's possible he can make that work, but again, slick tyres on a damp circuit. We've already seen it claim the race leader. Oh, you can see he's just on a knife edge. 3 wide isn't going to work. Unfortunately, shows common sense. Now he's going to go around the outside of turn 9. Oh, down the inside to 10. Easy, got it. Yes, it looks like he has. Oh, a little bit of hip and shoulder. Well, that's 9 into 10. We saw that Liu Kai was happy to put James Kay to a bit of hip and shoulder earlier, but this has given Shannon Fielding the lead, provided we can manage to get through. Now, I don't hear any rain falling at the moment. That could be absolutely game on for Shannon Fielding. The way he's going at the moment, in the conditions the circuit is in, 2 laps ago he was 7 seconds faster on track than anybody else. If he can put the hammer down and get away by the time he gets to his compulsory stop, you'd expect him not to stop until the end of that pit window at about the 35-minute mark. Kenny Chung could be in a prime position to return that car to the podium. Alex Fontana, right of screen further back. James Kay under a little bit of fire in the 49 entry from Yves Volt. Liu Kai, number 6 entry. Liu Wei has just returned from the Le Mans 24-hour race last weekend. Now, I'd heard somebody suggest he was second. I thought he was third in GTE Pro-Am, Ferrari 488 GTE. A brilliant job for him after just a couple of years of racing. And a great addition to be alongside Rainy Herr, who's doing his own endurance race, the Nürburgring 24-hour race in an Audi R8 LMS GT4, back in the Phantom Pro Racing entry this weekend. He will take over. Now, who's that rejoining left of screen? That looks like it may be Dong Liang again. In the 570. That could be their second stop, if I just check them on the list. 570, McLaren has now stopped twice. Dong Liang has stopped. Sorry, that is Dong Liang who has stopped twice. 86, KTM has stopped once. As Yves Volt works his way past James Kai, takes the position away from the Chinese driver. Kenneth Lim will take the wheel of that car during the compulsory stop. Still at least 11 minutes away from that point. Dong Liang right under the rear wing of Alex Fontana. Two drivers who have been right at the front of the pack. One would suggest that the 570 has now gone to the wet weather tyre. He's taken a wet line through that part of the corner and certainly driving a very, very different line to Fontana. Yves Volt just hanging on the edge of grip. Only 15 minutes into this race and it suddenly got very, very interesting. James Kai was attacking further back too, so he's still pushing quite hard. Shannon Fielding leads the way. Lead says 1.5 seconds. I think it's probably dropped below that, as Yves Volt now looks to try and make an impression on Fontana. Fontana has plenty of experience, also includes Formula E at London a couple of years back. So he's a bit of a journeyman, does a lot of work in Asia these days. Of course, part of China Touring Car Championship there is the race leader. His long lens defies just what the advantage is. So we'll take a look as he tips into turn 14. See the rear of the car just skating around on the under brakes. That's a reasonable lead, probably 3 to 4 seconds. Liu Kai still in position number 2. He's going to come under fire from Liu Wei fairly shortly in the number 6 entry. The number 3 entry, after all that great work early, unfortunately saw Yangshi spin down at turn 14, down at the hairpin, after working his way into the lead as the rain started to intensify. As you can see, it's dropped off again now. A number of the field still on slicks. In fact, I'd suggest that the bulk of the field is on slick tyres. Could be doing a Murray Walker, unless I'm very much mistaken. I would suggest Dong Liang is on wets after that second stop. Interested to see what his lap time's like this time round as Yves Volt dives up the inside. Fontana, but Fontana's got the correct line for turn 3 on the exit. Holds that position into 4, but it doesn't manage to hold it for long as Yves Volt fires through down the inside to exit turn 4 and head down to 5, having taken that position away. So Volt now up to position number 4. Next one in line is the next of the Phantom Pro Racing entries, because Dong Liang, who's immediately ahead of him, is not driving for position. Shannon Fielding, last lap 233, 234 for Liu Kai, who's in second position, 235.5 for the number 6 entry. Way Alex Fontana at 237, so he's not having the greatest of times. Of course, Yves Volt took him that lap. Yves Volt at 235.7, so within reach of the leaders. Certainly, there's no question about that. He'll be putting his recent kart experience, which included some victories in the Hungarian Championships, to pretty good use. Now, that's one of the BMWs starting to charge through the 999, and certainly yesterday, Wang Hao in the Team Master Champ BMW M4 GT4 was very impressive. Classified in position number 3, a good haul of points. Moved him up to equal 5th in the championship with Shannon Fielding and Kenny Chung, who are not going to do themselves any harm at all as a result of a result like this, provided Kenny can hang on. As that looking for grip going all the way down the inside? That is the 15 entry, I think, by the looks of it. Just getting some miles and keeping the nose out of trouble. So the 570, if it's gone onto the wet weather tyres, not really finding any great advantage. Blue flag. 15 Mercedes just jumping out of the way, being as wide as possible. Zhao Yanghe. His fielding goes around one more time. Advantage out to 3.8 seconds. 2:32.7 last time round. His best lap 2:27.7. 2:34 dead for Liu Kai in position number 2. And for Lu Wei in position number 3 at 2:34.4. 2:35.4 for Yves Volt. 2:37.3 after losing that position to the Aston Martin. That is the man we're talking about, Alex Fontana, on screen. He will hand over to team boss Chris Cheer during the stop. Great to see that sponsorship from MGM Grand on the car. Good support too from Liqui Moly. 6 minutes away from the pit window opening. Another car down pit lane. No, that's the 15 entry. So after that overtaking move on the run down to the final corner, we've elected to come down pit lane. Still 5 minutes shy of the pit window, but that might be just a driver gaining experience. Major Championship China GT. This is the 4th year, the 3rd full year effectively. The first year very much a toe in the water exercise. 2016, 2017, 2018 very much the first full years of China GT. Kicked this year off at Sepang in Malaysia. From there it was on to Ningbo International Speed Park for the second event. That was early May. We're here in Shanghai. We're back at Shanghai for the final round of the championship in mid-October. Off to Qinhuangdou Circuit, which is not too far from Beijing, on the 8th to 11th of August, and then another circuit very close to the capital of China, V1 circuit at Tianjin, which is a couple of hours or so away from the centre of Beijing. 6th to the 8th of September. So they are the forthcoming rounds. 2 new circuits, the V1 circuit, a new facility just recently built. Looking forward to heading there and back to this very circuit in Shanghai to close out the championship as we did in season 2018. Which saw the King's Racing operation claim back-to-back outright titles for Shuja. He's moved on to other things now. The Kings do have a car entered this weekend, and that will be on track in about an hour and a half's time for round 6 of GT3 and GTC. There is Dong Liang still circulating. Yves Volt's got away a little from Alex Fontana now. 2:34.4 for the race leader, so he's lost a little bit of time again. Let's check the windows here. Doesn't appear to be any more rain, but again, unpredictable conditions. No word on screen from race control about that incident that saw Lo Jiho spin on the run down to turn 1. It was a little bit difficult to see. He had a Phantom Pro Racing Mercedes either side of him. Up to us to judge as to who was to be blamed for anything that went on there. Certainly had an impact on the car on screen. It was Alex Fontana dropping it further back down the order. Dramas for the leaders. And then the storming drive came from Yang Ji in the number 3 Phantom Pro Racing entry. He got himself to the lead after getting around Liu Kai in the KTM as the weather conditions started to drop. Wang Hao's closed onto the tail of James Kai just behind these guys. So he's continued to move forward. He started this race from position 7. And the 999 entry, well, it's in position 7. Oh, look at that. There's a drifting move for you from James Kai. That was good car control from the Chinese driver. But certainly very, very slippery out there. Frustratingly, just as it was yesterday, almost not slippery enough to take the risk of wet weather tyres. Wang Hao just dancing around a little bit as well, because you lose that extra time with the compulsory stop. And what you lose on track at the moment might not be bad enough to make up through a stop and a change to the wets, especially if there's a chance that the weather conditions do improve. Again, there was blue sky on the horizon before we started this race, so this was a bit of a sudden shower that came not long after the start. Made it very difficult for the engineers to strategise to go for the wet weather tyre. Now we surmise that the car on the right of this, as Yves Volt goes down the inside of Dong Liang, may have elected for wets in their second stop. If that was the case, there really isn't any great advantage. Look at the speed difference between the two. Okay, so it looks like Dong Liang's got better drive out of turn 14 and down to 15. But Yves Volt is hanging in there. I can only apologise to all concerned if they have all started on wet weather tyres, but certainly there was a nice dry line at the start. And with a number of experienced drivers, I'm sure he's flashing lights at Yves Volt because Dong Liang was beside him. So clearly the young German is a bit frustrated that the Chinese driver continues to be difficult to pass, especially when he's a couple of laps down. It's almost a valid argument. Well, they're a lap down the 570, having pitted twice. Dong Liang, to some extent, is entitled to try and unlap himself, especially if he's gone out with a different tyre strategy. This is not good news. That's the 15 entry. So that's Xiao Yang He. He's back in pit lane. The team taking a good look in the engine bay. Tragically, you've got more chance of finding what's wrong with a modern-day GT3 car with a laptop these days than sticking your head under the hood. And like the good old days of carburetors and headers and all sorts of other things, you get hit with a hammer and away you go again. Not too much you want to be hitting with a hammer under the bonnet of a storming AMG GT3 or a GT4 these days. As this battle between Yves Volt and Dong Liang, yesterday's winner, goes on. Dong Liang firing down the inside. He's not willing to concede too much. I mean, full points to Yves Volt too. He's driving very wide. He could close the door on Dong Liang. He is a lap up. He is working forward for position. This is the car in 4th position in this race and the car in 13th position in this race. But he's driving with a calm head. Flashing of the lights. There's probably more frustration than anything else. Great drive off the parabolica. Shannon Fielding continues on 4.2 seconds. So good job by Liu Kai. He's managed to stabilise that gap. Shannon Fielding's gone in too deep. I think we just crossed at the wrong time. We've gone to look at a car being put away, a car that's lapped down and well back in the order. No, it looks like he might have got through or not. What has happened as a result of that? Yves Volt now moves across to the race line. He's trying to protect the line a little bit in case Dong Liang managed to make up some ground. Did Shannon Fielding get away with that? Pit window is open now. Guys, we don't need to see this. It's going away. It's over. It's game over for that car. There's plenty of action going on. The conditions are making it slippery. Okay, the first car is in down pit lane. Well, it's not the first car. It's Dong Liang. And he's in to hand over to Charlie Fagg, the McLaren factory driver. Instrumental in the victory they took last time out. Now, I think that's one of the Phantom Pro Racing entries gone in. James Kay has also gone in. Is this the 3? Is it the 6? That is the number 6 entry. Yu Wei is in to hand over to Rainey He. Now, hopefully Rainey doesn't put a foot wrong this time round. 5 nuts. Doesn't have the centre locking like you see on the GT3 cars. A little bit of work for the boys to do. Now, there you are. That was the answer. The number 6, certainly, on wet weather tyres. So I need to both apologise and reassess what I've just been talking about for the last 25 minutes, because a number of these guys have gone out on the Michelin wet. So clearly, whilst it looked like there may have been a dry line, it wasn't that dry at all. I'll be interested to see what the KTM and and certainly Shannon Fielding's Ginetta have done, because it certainly was a gamble and paid off in respect to the number 6 entry, up to position 2 early before Fielding got through. He is currently well clear at the front of this field. Pretty sure that's the 570 now with Charlie Fagg behind the wheel. The 999 entry, the Team Master Champ BMW in. There's now Rainey He, fresh from his run at the Nürburgring 24-hour race. Podium in GT4. That was with an Audi. This time round he's back in the Phantom Pro Racing Mercedes. No, it wasn't. That was the FIS team AAI entry. It is. It's Guan Ho Yao handing over to Oscar Lee. Of course, FIS team AAI have been victorious in the past in GT4. Their lead team, Ivan Lee and Kevin Chen, stepping up to GT3. They start this afternoon's race from pole position. Oh, we've seen this so many times in the last 18 months. They've got it fired back up again. And the 86 entry fires out the gate. Lin Kang will be hoping to recover some sort of ground from the drama that hit Lo Ji Ho early in this race. That's their second stop. 570's had 3 stops. There is the second team entry, currently holding down position number 2 for Liu Kai. He'll be over to hand over to Wei Qianyi during his stop. Shannon Fielding continues to storm around this circuit. 2:33 last time round. More than 2 seconds faster than the next quickest on track. That was Yves Volt. Things still going very nicely for the K2C entry. Great program put together by Kenny Chung. He's got a couple of the Ginetta G55 GT4s. Debuted at Golden Port a couple of seasons back. Loves his motorsport. It's been... Kenny's gone very, very wide. Sorry, Shannon's gone very wide around the outside there. He's still got another 3 or 4 minutes before he needs to stop. There's the 2 Extreme Motorsports KTM Crossbow GT4s. He's put a good program together, Kenny Chung. Very professional. He's been very loyal to Shannon Fielding. Shannon, by contrast, the young Englishman, factory driver for Ginetta, has been very supportive of Kenny's development as a driver. He's been there right through that development process, and the 2 of them form quite a formidable Pro-Am team. There's a good mix of Am and Pro-Am entries. The good guide to that is on screen. Yu Kai and Wei Qianyi. 87 entry, the yellow and black entry, are an Am entry. Lo Ji Ho and Lin Kang are a Pro-Am entry in that 86 red and white car. So that is positions number 1, number 12 and number 2 on screen. Yu Kai still hanging on there. He's back 8.6 seconds now, so he lost 3 seconds last time round to Shannon Fielding, who continues to be impressive. So Fielding might go around one more time. Fully expect that to be the case. Now for the second drivers, they've got a little bit of work ahead of them because they need to try and determine as quickly as humanly possible just what the levels of grip are like. Based on what we've seen so far, you'd expect they're going to fit the Michelin wet, unless, of course, they've got a pro driver to bolt in behind the wheel. If that's the case, they may take a risk and opt to go out on slick tyres as Yves Volt goes very, very wide. He'll hand over to David Pun. A gorgeous car, brand new. Round 2 of the championship at Ningbo was the first run in this part of the world for the, it's nearly been renamed, the Bentley. The Aston Martin team's had a number of names over the years. It's now the Asia Sonic Racing operation. Team just doing something on the helmet there. It may have been a transponder. There's Alex Fontana races in, misses his pit stop by a country mile. What have we got there? They look like wet weather tyres again. It's a little bit difficult to tell exactly what's gone on, what's gone on. I wish they'd pan a little bit wider, and then we might be able to see what tyre's going on. Well, that's a wet weather tyre going on the right front. Therefore, you'd suggest that the other 3 corners would also be, well, there you go. They started on slicks. If that's the tyre that pulled off the car, so it was a strategy choice. And that might explain why Alex Fontana started to fall back, whilst his teammate, who went out there in the number 6 entry, Liu Wei, very clearly had wet weather tyres taken off the car and put back on, fresh as set for that second run. That was David Pun heading out. So Robert Webb will be behind the wheel of the number 98 Top Gun GT Lotus Evora. As he heads out, David Pun heads out. And that now is the 999 entry of Wang Hao. The second of the BMW M4 GT4s, finished second yesterday. Chris Cheer, the team boss of the Phantom Pro Racing operation, he goes out. Now this would be, I expect, well, there's no question, this will be a pit stop for the car that is leading this race, as Chris Cheer already charges through on Wang Hao, so he's got a better run on the way out of the pits. So a nice start for his run for Chris Cheer. That'll move them up a position. Shannon Fielding at any second will be down pit lane or pit road, and he will be followed down by Liu Kai. Positions 1 and 2 in this race will be in pit lane, I'd expect, right about now. So they will affect their stops. The race leader will be stopping during his stop. There it is, Shannon Fielding. Climbing the list. They started position 12. Shannon Fielding moved them up to the lead. They're equal 5th in the championship. They'll be stopping for 73 seconds. 57-second stop for Liu Kai to hand over to Wei Qianyi. And they are equal 4th in the championship with their KTM teammates, Lo Jiho and Lin Kang, in the second of the Extreme Motorsports entries. So Extreme Motorsports doing a good job so far. What have we got, slicks or wets? I'd expect Kenny Chung will go out on the Control Michelin wet. Very difficult to see with the contrast of the screen I'm looking at, whether it's a wet weather tyre or a slick. Let's see what we've got here. No, they're putting tyres on. It's a fairly casual stop. You'd want to hope they didn't lose too much time. 57 seconds. It goes quite quickly. We've got 20 wheel starts to pull out and then make sure they're on and tight. It's the 3 entry I'd expect. So there will be a driver change for Yangshi. Chuang will jump behind the wheel. So Yangshi did a great job, certainly early in that race, to move himself all the way up to the lead. Had an off down at the hairpin, turn 14, as the rain started to intensify. Still a good mix of slicks and wets, although I think most at the moment are opting for wet. Take a quick look out the window again. Looks to me very much like the rain has stopped. But as we saw earlier, it looked to me like there was blue sky on the horizon, and yet the back of the circuit was facing a deluge. So that doesn't necessarily follow for much. It is a little unpredictable. The weather forecast was that there'd be no rain after 12 o'clock. It's now 12:39. So they were pretty accurate. They're about half an hour out yesterday for the start of the heavy rain. We were fortunate, given that 2 days ago there were warnings of heavy winds, intense electrical activity. Closing stages of yesterday's GT4 race did see some heavy thunderclaps and some lightning flashes, but it was relatively short. As Kenneth Lim heads out now. An experienced campaigner, driver, trainer, has done a lot of miles and a lot of different cars. This is the debut for he and James Kay in the winning team McLaren, and I'd expect to see that 570S GT4, the green and black entry, start to work ahead. There is James Kay. Now, top of screen is Lin Kang. Now, Lin Kang has worked his way back up to position number 11, so he'd be a lap down on Kenny Chung. So let's see what the advantage was. As he left pit lane, there should have been an 11-second advantage to Kenny Chung over the 87 entry of Wei Qianyi. So that should have shortened, but a little bit of pressure on Kenny Chung, and hopefully Shannon Fielding has told him before he's jumped in the car, just focus on what you need to do. So let's see. We may see Sophie. She's down in pit lane for an interview. It could be with Shannon Fielding.
好，刚刚下来的是55号车组的 Senna。其实他们车组呢，在刚进站的时候是一直领先的，但是我们也可以看到他们在 pit 的时间是真的是很长。Senna, we see there it costs a lot of times in the pit. What happened?
I'm not too sure. I think the team just struggled putting the wets on for Kenny. The conditions were extremely slippy out there, and it was a last-minute call. And I just don't think everyone was quite ready to do what they needed to do.
And would you like to share with us, because we find your first session is incredibly good because you just overtaking so many cars.
Yeah, the first stint was really enjoyable. I knew it was going to be difficult starting on the slicks. We managed to get through the field really quick on lap 1 after avoiding a collision at turn 1. And then we also ran out of power for some reason going down into turn 6. So then I dropped back to the back of the field and then had to come through again.
Thank you so much, Senna. I know you have a lot to say, but definitely it's time to watch out what happened on the track, and so far the condition for car number 55. Thank you so much. 那 Senna 呢跟我们分享了一下，其实他的这个部分完成的是非常好的，因为他们是用干胎起步的，所以一开始不太确定在赛道上的情况，干胎能不能非常完美的去适应赛道。那他的部分呢是做到了第1的成绩，但是刚刚进站之后呢，可能根据这个车队的一个新的战略，对于天气的调试，所以影响到了一些时间。那接下来的时间，我们一起来共同关注一下现在在我们现场的情况。Now it's our time to cross back to our guys.
So as that discussion has been taking place with Shannon Fielding, the gap has certainly closed. In fact, it's down to just 5.7 seconds now between Kenny Chung and the number 6 entry, which has now got Rainey He behind the wheel. Now that is the number 3. That had been a change during their compulsory pit stop. And, of course, Yan Chuang's behind the wheel there. Wang Hao still doing a great job in the BMW, the Team Master Champ entry. Now, that is back for position 6 and 7, but the fight we're looking at is further forward. The other one to take into consideration is David Purnell. He's 22 seconds back from Rainey He, but this could be right. This could fall very nicely right into Rainey He's lap, because he was right in this championship battle as we came into this round with the number 5 of Alex Fontana and Chris Chia. But Chris Chia's in position 4. He's back a second from David Pun, so this could be another good strong haul of points. The 87 entry. Well, this is the battle for the lead now, because Kenny Chung has disappeared from the timing monitor. In fact, Kenny Chung's now gone back, just as we've been talking, to position number 11. So the race leader has disappeared. He had a 6-second advantage or thereabouts coming into this lap. He's now dropped down the order. That could be as a result, though. The timing monitor has refreshed whilst I've been down the list. And as Shannon Fielding said, they've lost a lot of time in pit lane. So they may not have come out as the race leaders. They may not, in fact, have come out well down the order. So this is the battle for the lead. And what a great battle it is. Liu Kai doing such a good job early in the piece. And, of course, in the number 6 entry, Liu Wei did the same thing. So Rainey He trying to get around Wei Chunyi. They're carrying on the battle that started early in this race as the rain started to fall. What options have they chosen for tyres? A little bit of a love tap from Rainey He. Needs to avoid doing that. Of course, he caught Chris Chia that way, but that was under brakes in the opening race. Saw him retire with broken left steering arm. So tapping cars. It wasn't intentional, of course. He probably a little bit surprised by the lack of pace of Wei Qianyi trying to get grip as he came out of turn 3. But you need to be very careful doing that. Rainey He, as we say, he's very tight on points with his teammate. In fact, we look down the list at the order. They are on 60 points to 73 for Fontana and Chris Chia. Sophie has someone else down in pit lane. Let's get an update.
好，刚刚呢，在我身旁的就是被超过87号赛车的，已经完成第1部分的刘凯。那其实你的这一部分，因为你们是有很激烈的拼抢，尤其是无论是身后的 AMG， 还是就是周围的这个有很强劲的对手，就是在这轮比赛当中，能跟我们分享一下你的这个部分的完成情况？
今天的比赛是雨天开始，确实是我们旁边的赛车有着性能上的优势，然后车手也非常专业。可能因为下雨的关系，我觉得我们的车可能平衡性在雨中更好。而且我后面的奔驰的车手，尤其是Pro 的车手跟 AM 车手都，他的进攻跟防守动作都非常文明，然后也没有发生那个很严重的碰撞，所以我们都安全的完成了上半场的比赛。
非常谢谢刘凯。那我知道你现在心肯定很急，想看一下现在的现场情况啊。刘凯 just summarizes with us that because you know especially in the Shanghai International Circuit, the AMG and the other cars they have really good performance here at this circuit. However, the KTM has really good performance on the very wet track, so it's good for them as well. At the same time, their opponents showed a very polite attacking behavior, which is very good. And now it's your time to cross back to your guys. 接下来时间在我们现场转交会解时间。
So there's the car on screen that Yukai started. He did such a great job, and we've seen him perform like that a number of times over the last couple of seasons. Very, very accomplished driver. He'll jump in next to Loji Ho for a run in the Radical RXC for the GTC class. Whoa, that's Chris Cheer going very, very deep under brakes into turn 16. Runs very wide on the exit, used all the curb and then some. Was able to recover that, so that's fortunate for him. Now, who's next one in line behind the number 5? It's the championship points leader, so he needs to keep that in a straight line. The 618 of Yves Volt and David Pun is back further, so I think they're out of the equation now. They're about 9 seconds back, if I can read those blurry numbers nicely. The number 49 entry with Kenneth Lim is just 5 seconds or so back from the 618 Aston Martin. Number 3 Mercedes for Phantom Pro Racing is in position number 6 and quite tight with the 49, the green McLaren. So that's an interesting battle back for position 5 and 6. Unfortunately, the 570, Charlie Fagg in the car, is out of the equation completely. Position number 13. They were winners yesterday in that race that was declared. They're a similar livery, but that is the 868 entry. Now they're in position number 8. Immediately behind the 999 of Wang Hao, but they're about 13 seconds back, so they're a bit further outside the equation. But the big battle is the green 49 and the number 3 Phantom Pro Racing Mercedes for position number 5. We'll get a look at that if we're lucky at some stage shortly, with 15 minutes to go in this race. So as it stands now, Rainy He doing a great job, out now by 4.3 seconds over Wei Chan Yi in the yellow and black KTM Crossbow GT4. There is the green machine, and it looks like it may well have lost that position already. So the number 3 entry is absolutely on fire, as it turns out at the moment. Last time around, 2:34.3. Alex Fontano, Chris Cheer rather, was the fastest on track with 2:32.8, despite the fact he ran very wide coming through the final corner. 2:34.2 for the number 6 entry, which at the moment has Rainy He behind the wheel. He is leading this field around. So the 3 Phantom Pro Racing Mercedes AMG GT4s are coming into their own. There is Chris Cheer on screen, position number 3, and a good solid haul of points for the title points leaders. They've got a bit of work to do. They had a tough run yesterday, cleaned up by their teammate Rainy He. Is going to go on and take victory in this one. So that is some level of compensation for the team, if he can go through and take the car he shares with Yu Wei, who did such a great job in the opening stint to take another victory for Phantom Pro Racing. Wang Hao still there in position number 7 in the 999 entry. So that battle we were looking at on screen. Well, Kenneth Lim seems to have closed in again on Yan Chuang, by the look of it, just behind these guys, and they're all catching David Pun. So David doing his best. He's hanging in there. Yves Volt did a good job. He lost a lot of speed coming through turn 2 there. Whether or not they may have sent him out on slicks with the strategy play that the track conditions could dry. That's a fair lesson in driving if they have. He's done a couple of seasons with China GT and an Aston Martin to this point. So the Asia Sonic Racing team have some good experience between them. They've campaigned Aston Martins in this championship for the last couple of years. As Yan Chuang continues to charge around. And what have we got further back in the order? Wan Hao Yao and Oscar Lee in the second of the BMWs in position number 10. Kenny Chung back in position number 11, 2:39 last time round. It's well shy of Shannon Fielding's best, but remember, one is a driver with good experience in these cars in these style of conditions. The other is emerging as a very talented support driver. He's Kenny Chung's team, and he will be looking to learn as much as he can from these conditions. Because as we said yesterday, we don't always see that much rain in the GT Championship, certainly in China GT. We have faced it. It has been an issue. It has given these drivers opportunities to practice and test in heavy weather conditions. But traditionally, the races have been dry. The 570 or is it the 868? It's the 868. No, it's the 570. So I'm suggesting that Charlie Fagg's gone out there on slick tyres. David Pawn, hang on, but look what's coming right in your rear vision mirror. You've just lost wholesale ground and potentially a position on track over the course of the next lap. Now, Kenneth Lim may have gone out on slick tyres too, because the second of the Mercedes is David Pawn's in all sorts of trouble. He's gone very, very deep into the final corner. Door open now. And there's not going to be a second invitation issued to Yan Chuang. He's going to get around the 618 Aston pretty promptly, I'd expect. In fact, maybe right now, coming into turn 1-2. David Pawn carrying on as best he can, but that car looks very, very edgy. 4-litre twin-turbo V8. Certainly got plenty of tractable power. Too heavy on the throttle, though. We'll see things change there. Now, bad sportsmanship flag for car 999, and that's Wang Hao. And he's still back in position 7. He's not really that close to anybody. Track limits, turn 16. We did talk about that when we looked at the track map at the start of this race with just on 10 minutes to go. That the stewards can ping you for using too much of the final corner on the exit, because a couple of drivers have done that to save their bacons. Sophie is back down in pit lane. She has an update for us.
Tana, Alex, we know starting from 5th position, but so far seems to be already on the 2nd. Is this so far the condition like these the best result?
Well, it was quite a difficult race because I used slick tires in the beginning, so tires made for dry condition. It was only me and another car in that situation, so in the first few laps it was quite difficult as the circuit was still wet. But when I started to improve, the rain came, so it made my life quite difficult. I tried to keep the car in one piece and on track. Obviously, I didn't have the pace to reach the guys with the rain tires. But the team made a good call to put the rain tires for the last 10 minutes, and Chris is doing a very good job so far. So we are in the podium contention at the moment.
Thank you so much, Alex. Alex 跟大家分享了一下他的部分，因为他是首先发车的。那么在他的部分呢，因为当时天气已经不下雨了，所以他用的是干胎起步。但是一开始之后就开始下雨，所以呢，这是他第一部分遇到最大的问题。但是现在呢，车组已经到了第2的位置，所以呢，到目前为止一切都很好。Good luck for you. See you later on the podium. Now it's our time for spectator guys. 接下来转回到我们的解说间。
Well, thanks, Alex Fontana. That addresses a question I had about how many people went out on slicks and how many went out on wets. I had the bulk of the field going out on slick tyres, where, in fact, from your understanding, there are only a couple. So that certainly made things interesting. They are in the box seat at the moment. There is positions 1, 2 and 3. I think, having said that, it's about 5 seconds between 1 and 2. That's exactly right. That's the number 6 entry of Chris Chia. In position, well, they're in the number 5 entry. Chris Cheers in the number 5 entry alongside Alex Fontana. That's looking at starting position 6. Rainy Her is leading this race in the number 5 Phantom Pro Racing Mercedes. Number 6. Sorry, gang. It is the number 6 Phantom Pro Racing Mercedes that is on screen of Rainy Her that is leading this race. Chris Chia, partnered with Alex Fontana, we just spoke to, is in the number 5 entry. It's got a purple slash across the front of it this time to distinguish it from its teammate. Of course, the number 3 entry is still in the field. That is in position number 4 now. So there's been a change again further back. And we saw that with that battle with Kenneth Lim, who by his performance I'd expect has gone out on the Michelin slick tyre. This is the car that's performing very, very well. Yu Kai, who we spoke to just earlier with Sophie, started this car, and Wei Chun-Yi is behind the wheel now, still in position number 2, 5.7 seconds down, but now only 1.4 seconds ahead of Chris Chia, who's closing in. That gap did actually look bigger as they came through the S section, but there it is on screen. That's difficult to tell. 5.7 seconds as it stands now between 1 and 2. 1.4 seconds between 2 and 3. Further back, that is the third of the Phantom Pro Racing entries. And after a good start by Yang Ji, Yan Chuang has taken over that car. Now, forget the 570. I expect that's the 570 of Charlie Fagg in the middle, who was skating around so much he'd almost guarantee he was out there on slicks. The 868 is the other of those entries. You see Charlie Fagg just under brakes on the wet part of the circuit, just trying to pull the car up. Also a drama trying to get the power down. And quite clearly, Yan Chuang's not all that happy with it because he feels he's being held up. And why not? Because David Pun's still in position, although he's had a bad run out of the final corner, lost all sorts of speed on the exit. You may have been told that people are being warned. Now, there is a drive-through penalty by the look of it. Insufficient pit stop time. Now, when you've already been down pit lane twice, there probably isn't really an excuse to serve your compulsory stop and be leaving pit lane early. That really does mess up what was an otherwise brilliant drive yesterday for Charlie Fagg and Dong Liang. It's not the way they wanted to see their Sunday play out. David Pun still battling on, still holding down position number 5. It's been a little bit of work for them this weekend. Didn't start so well for the Asia Sonic Racing team. This is a car that was brand new just last event at Ningbo. Just don't have the data on the car. Of course, different power plant. Doesn't have the naturally aspirated V8 engine that has traditionally powered the Aston Martin GT4. It has moved to the AMG sourced and supplied twin-turbo 4-litre V8 unit. So power is made very differently. As Charlie Fagg, all kinds of sideways, having a time of his life down there at turn 7, but not actually achieving too much. Now, that's the 868 and the 999. This is for position. Wang Hao still doing a pretty good job. And the 868's done a sterling run through to be in a position for Liu Ka Liu to move up onto his tail, because Liu was very impressive yesterday. It stormed through from last position after not being able to start with a qualifying time to get up to position 3 or 4. It may well have been 3. The McLarens did a great job in yesterday's conditions, but fell away after his pit stop. Sophie has another interview with just 4 minutes to go in this race. Let's head down to pit lane.
好，在我身旁的可以说是我们 China GT 在今年赛季里边到目前为止最年轻的车手吴亦夫，只有17岁。那他驾驶的是618号赛车，到目前为止呢是第5位。其实想跟大家分享一下，就是本周末的一个表现。So Eve, we know you're as the youngest driver in China GT, especially for this stop. Would you like to summarize the race weekend here?
I've raced here a couple of times, so I really like the track here. Especially the weather now is going to my half, so yeah, I think I showed it on my stint. We went from P9 to I think P4, P3 when I came in. So yeah, it was really a good race. The car is amazing. The Aston is doing a really good job here. And then also the track, as I said, is really good. So yeah, I mean, we still have 5 minutes left, but I don't think there's still much to do because other than there's a crash happening. But yeah, overall, really good result for us this weekend from where we started from.
Thank you so much, Eve. 吴亦夫呢跟大家分享了一下，就是其实这周末的比赛呢，他的发挥还是比较稳定的，而尤其是他和他的搭档呢，也尽力的取得好的成绩。但因为这周末的天气条件实在不可测的这个因素，影响到了最终他们的发挥。而同时呢，也非常高兴能够驾驶着阿斯顿马丁的赛车在上赛来进行比赛，也非常感谢团队的支持。Thank you one more time. And now it's our time for Spectator guys. 转回到我们的解说间。
Very interesting that it looks like the KTM is closing in again. The gap now just 3.3 seconds at the front of this field. So Wei Chuanyi's managed to find something. This is the battle back for, well, it's not really a battle because the that's Charlie Fagg still having a good time playing with David Pun, but it's not for position. So this is back in position 5. The battle's at the front of this field. There is the leader. Now, what's also happened, now the timing monitor's gotten very interesting, is it says there was just 3.3 seconds separating position 1 from 2 and 3.5 seconds separating positions 2 from 3. But this is the battle 2 for 3. This is Chris Chia. He has caught the tail of Wei Chuanyi. So Chuanyi last time round was some 2 seconds up on the race leader. but he was a second slower than Chris Cheer. Drag race down the main straight. I think that's only going to go one way, and that'll go in favour of 6.3 litres of thumping V8. So this is a position change late in this race. There'll be one more lap to go after we see cross the line Rainey Her and his teammate Chris Cheer. The two of them made contact at turn 6 in the opening lap of race 1 yesterday. Chris Cheer's pulled the car up. He's got on the gas nicely, is able to pull away from Wei Chuan Yi. So something's happened with the KTM last lap round, because he was making grounds on Rainey Her, has dropped back, now has lost a position in all of that. 1 minute 45 to go. This will be the last lap of the race, I would expect. Anything could happen. No, there's the top left of screen. There is the last lap board. So definitely on the final lap. Position number 4 is the third of the Phantom Pro Racing entries. Position number 5 is David Pun. We're watching him on screen battling with Charlie Fagg, who still, unfortunately, is in position number 13 with just 21 laps in the book. He's on his 22nd, race leader on lap number 23. Position number 6 is Kenneth Lim in the third of the McLarens, or the second in this instance, because the 868 is immediately behind him, but 15 seconds further back. The 999, we saw that warning earlier for track limits, Wang Hao in the BMW, position number 8. Position number 9, 86. So a good recovery after that drama and an early pit stop to check the car. So Ling Kang's taken over from Lo Ji Ho. That is Eric Wong in the Top Gun GT Evora GT4, just being taken for position. They are back in position number 12. The FIS Team AAI BMW in position number 10. Kenny Chung's dropped back to position 11 after Shannon Fielding, despite an electrical stop in the car that saw him stop coming out of turn 6 early in the race. He managed to hit pit lane with a comfortable lead to hand to Kenny Chung. The team lost a lot of time in pit lane. It could have been a tyre choice issue, maybe a little bit of inexperience coming in there. But as we said earlier, Kenny Chung's built a very, very good team with his K2C Motorsports operation. So that'll be something they'll go away and have a look at. Robert Webb and Eric Wong in position 12. And Charlie Fagg and Dong Liang, after victory yesterday, languishing down in position number 13. 3 stops and a pending drive-through penalty, which could see another 30 seconds added to their time penalty. So their overall race time, rather. As here is Rainey Her making full amends for a DNF in race 1. Comes through, good solid haul of points, but he won't quite take the advantage they would have hoped for when Chris Cheer and Alex Fontana were further back down the order. They have worked their way through. The team boss, Chris Cheer, up to position 2. He took Wei Chuan Yi in the 87 KTM last time round. And for Rainey Her, this is a great recovery after that drama in race 1. He takes victory. A stunning drive for he and Liu Wei. Second across the line for Chris Cheer and Alex Fontana. A 1-2 for Phantom Pro Racing and the Extreme Motorsports operation of Wei Chuan Yi and Liu Kai. Spoiling the party for the trifecta. They take third, and fourth across the line was the number 3 entry, and a nice solid result for Yang Ji and Yan Chuang in the third of the Phantom Pro Racing entries. Fifth across the line should have been David Pun. That is Kenneth Lim crossing the line in position number 5 in the car he shared with James Kai. Long-time partner in crime when it comes to motorsport. The 868 entry crosses the line, so the 3 of the McLarens have all but completed their run. Wang Hao in position number 8, and across the line in position number 9 for Lo Ji Ho and Ling Kang. After that great start by Lo Ji Ho, unfortunately was thwarted on the run into turn 1, caught as a sandwich between 2 of the Phantom Pro Racing entries. These guys got very close down at this part of the circuit yesterday. That didn't end well. This time round, though, I think the hand signals will probably be a little bit more pleasant. There'll be a bit more thumbs up, and why not? A great result for them. So this will really make the championship points interesting. So victory for Rainey Her will give him 80 points in this championship race, but Fontana and Chris Cheer, they will move through to 91 points in the title battle. So that's where the fight will come. The frustrating thing for Will Bamber and Lau Young for the D2 Mercedes operation is that despite their victory in round 3 at Ningbo, they came in as equal points leaders. They'll be back on 68, so they've lost a lot of ground on their title rivals Fontana and Chia. So still a long way to go. This is only the midpoint of the season, and so far on their debut this season for China GT, there they are. The 3-car entry from Phantom Pro Racing has been very, very impressive. Very professional, very successful, and they are comfortably 1-2 in this championship as we go to the midpoint of the season. Another solid run for the Extreme Motorsports team. A couple of years ago, the 2 KTMs were just 2 of 4 cars in the GT4 field that managed to finish that race here at Shanghai International Circuit. And a shout out to Mars Kang, who's down there with the Craft Bamboo team steering the ship this weekend. He took over the commentary position for that run. How he called 4 GT4 cars on this circuit for an hour, I will never ever know, but I owe him a great debt of gratitude as a result. But how has this field come along? One of the strongest GT4 fields in the world, and that has been a real hallmark of the success of China GT over the last couple of seasons, is the growth of this particular category. GT3 always quite strong. GTC in this part of the world always quite strong. We'll see 20-odd cars in the race this afternoon in about 1 hour's time, so make sure you stay with us after we've been through all the various podium presentations, and hopefully too we'll hear a little bit more from some of the drivers. Keep up to date with the website www.chinagt.net and the multiple social media platforms in both Chinese language and English. You can keep up to date. There's no excuse to not being informed for everything that goes on with China GT. There is the number 1 entry. Rainy He takes the car to victory. And I'm pretty sure that's their first win of the year. So for Rainy He, he's been on the podium a couple of times this year. No, he did win round 2 of the championship. Sonny Wong alongside, of course, at that stage. The two of them took a podium finish in the recent Nürburgring 24-hour race. Another driver who's done some 24-hour race. Well, he's there on screen. Liu Wei, he started the number 6 entry, and he was at the Le Mans 24-hour race on the podium in GTE Pro-Am, driving for Ferrari last weekend. A little bit of celebration too, and why not? Wei Qianyi and Liu Kai, yes, celebrating like they won the thing. When you're comparing a 6.3-litre AMG GT3 to a 2-litre turbo KTM Crossbow, Liu Kai celebrating. Good job there too. So another great race for China GT. The 2019 season, this is the midpoint of the championship. Thomas Erb, the boss of AMG in this part of the world, down there celebrating with his drivers. Great supporters to China GT. There is Rainy He. Wei Qianyi takes off the helmet. We should be down with Sophie very, very shortly for what I expect will be some very, very happy drivers. Nice to see. We can see the blue sky. Wasn't telling fibs. Top right corner of screen. Conditions have improved. That is promising as we head towards the 6th round of GT3 and GTC in about an hour's time. Again, stay with us as we take you through to that race. And that will certainly start very interestingly with 2 FIST Team AAI BMW M6 GT3 starting from the front row. And we're down in pit lane with Sophie.
好，大家可以看到此起彼伏的欢呼声中的祝贺6号车组2位车手吕威和何小乐是获得了我们的第2场正赛 GT4 组别的冠军，恭喜2位。先从吕威开始吧，因为其实作为我们知道的勒芒大奖赛当中的 GT1 组别的亚军，跑过勒芒大赛来跑 China GT， 你觉得就是这个周末的比赛给你最大的印象是什么？
我觉得 China GT 越办越好，真的来了非常开心，对手们都非常强。 车也非常快，然后我们有这么好的车队，这么棒的队友，还有工程师。2周前站在勒芒的领奖台上，现在站在上海的领奖台上，真的非常非常开心。
非常感谢刘维。刘维 just told us that it's very happy because they have such a great team, such great partner, and such great competitors together race here in Shanghai. 2 weeks ago, standing on the podium in Le Mans, and 2 weeks later, right here in Shanghai, get on the top of the podium is definitely a gladsome victory for him. 小乐哥哥， 其实呢，我们知道，就是昨天的比赛当中出现了比较大的失误，也导致了整个团队的一个就是团灭。那你也是可以说是用这个漂移的方式走完了全场，但是你昨天说了，今天你会卷土重来，一定要更好的带给大家精彩的表现。此时的心情是怎样的？
确实，我们看现在已经雨过天晴了。那么这个周末对于我们来说，其实是比较艰难的。那包括昨天我的起步，不太好，在第一圈发生了失误，和我的队友碰到他，像你说的几乎被团灭。那么这个周末其实从练习和排位来说，在 BOP 的这个情况下，其实我们的车子没有太多优势。那今天的结果，我觉得首先跟天气有很大的关系，因为我们知道在选择轮胎的时候，在起跑之前出现了大家很多用干胎、用水胎的场面，但我相信，今天的功劳除了我们的工程师车队，还有就是我的这个新的队友。虽然我们是第一次搭档，然后昨天我也给他出了一个难题，就是他没有开到车。但是今天他在第一棒的时候，其实他一直在观察着雨势，虽然是25分钟的时间，包括他在最后进来的前一圈，他还在计算每一个弯用干胎或水胎，都会大概有什么样成绩的损失，所以最后他决定还是让我再换一套水胎出去比赛。所以在我的前10分钟的时候，我也一直在用对讲机跟我的车队经理沟通，那么我的圈速是比较稳定的，所以我也尽量去在这35分钟里面去保护轮胎，那么非常的奏效，对，所以挺开心的。
非常感谢小乐。So 小乐 just summarizes the strategy for the whole team this weekend. Actually, it's a very tough weekend for both of them because, as you can see, the accident happened on the track yesterday. The start is not pretty good for Xiaole, and Liu Wei didn't get a chance to even drive the car. However, today, dry and wet, it's a choice between different tires. And the Liu Wei is a pursuit of precision, so it's a great teamwork for the whole weekend. Thank you and congratulations for both of you. Now it's our time. Cross back to your guys. 接下来时间转回到我们的解说间。
Nice to hear from the race winners and get an update as to how things have played out for them. Certainly the conditions were very, very challenging. It was wet, it was dry, as you heard from Alex Fontana. They thought they made an inspired choice in the number 5 entry, which ended up crossing the line in position 2. But they were faced with the same thing. We're across to an interview. That's enough from me. I'll see you in an hour.
好的，现在在我身旁的是5号车组2位车手 Alex Fontana 和谢安，获得了我们的 GT4 组别第2场正赛的亚军。Alex, starting from you, we just have an interview before. So today, starting from 5th position, what is the situation over there? Share with us, especially at the very beginning.
Yeah, because of the hot temperature today, we decided to put dry tires, so the tires for dry condition, as the track was getting drier and drier with no more rain. And in the first few laps, it was difficult, but I started to go faster, and I felt confident for my half an hour because the track was improving every lap. And so I was sure that it was the right decision. But then the rain came back, so I could just survive, try to stay as close as possible as to the drivers with the rain tires, and then give the car to Chris in one piece. And Chris did a fantastic job. We can see how he matured every weekend, and he gets better and better. He did nice overtakes, kept the car together in wet conditions, so I'm really proud.
Thank you so much, Alex. Alex 跟我们总结了一下，就是在整场比赛当中呢，其实一开始，因为我们都知道天气渐渐的炎热上来了，所以这个赛道呢已经渐渐的变干了。一开始他们用的是干胎起步，但是后来呢又开始下雨了，所以在它之间呢一个速度的选择、轮胎的选择呢，都是对于他整场表现能够从第5位发车往前提的一个制胜的这个关键点。谢安，我看你在那儿真的是感觉很累了，这周末应该是此起彼伏的一个周末。今天拿到第2名，而且车上好像还有负重，自己感觉怎么样？尤其因为 BOP 在这一站可能对于车来说会有很大的挑战。
对，就像大家看到的，这一站其实很不容易，因为我们从自由练习一直到排位赛都不够快。因为在这条赛道，你轻量化的车身还有 BOP 的一个结果，都对我们不是特别有利。然后第1回合的决赛的过程中，我们在第1圈发生了一些小的碰撞，导致2车都没有获得积分。当然我们也没有灰心，然后觉得今天一定有机会再把这个比赛赢回来。今天比赛还是很艰难，又下雨又干天。然后我们在起跑的时候也是做了一个赌注，我们让 Alex 使用干胎，但是很不幸一发车就开始下雨了，所以我们也是落在第8、第9的一个位置。但是后来我就上场。 很高兴，今天发挥的也比较好，这个一路能够超到第2，这个帮助车队包揽冠亚军，是我们最兴奋的事情。
祝贺你们，也祝贺魅影车队这一站在我们的上海赛道，可以说在第2场正赛有一个全胜啊。So actually, Xian just mentioned about today the race is definitely very tough because as you can see, the first race they didn't finish, they didn't collect enough points, and today they just gambled the tire at the very beginning, used dry tire at the very beginning. However, it's rained very soon, but when Xian took the car, it's 8th position now. On the 2nd position, it's definitely a satisfying result. Thank you for both of you. Congratulations. Enjoy the victorious weekend for you. 那接下来的时间转交回我们的解说间。Now third time, prospect your guys.
So let's take a look back at how things played out. Great crowd in. Typically, the opening ceremony was a lot of entertainment. A lot of people down on track. There's Sophie. John Flynn, Bishung from CTVS. Michelin Man, James Kay. A big selection of people. Always exciting. Great overhead shot of the start of the race. And here's where the drama started. Lo Ji Ho, the driver from Hong Kong, always very good in the KTM. Caught up in a Phantom Pro Racing sandwich. Sudden burst of speed. This was the hip and shoulder that was taking place between Liu Kai and James Kay early in the race. Then, after working his way forward, Shannon Fielding had a drama coming out of turn 6. Car stopped, reset it. The number 3 entry had got itself to the front of the field. Wasn't the first time we saw it have drama down there. And Fielding stormed through to take not 1 but 2 positions down at turn 9 and into 10. And he was away. Opened up a nice lead. Good mix of tyre strategies between wets and slicks. There are only a handful of teams decided to go for slicks in the slippery conditions. One of them, the car that's just been overtaken by his Volt, and that was Alex Fontana. Unfortunately, the rain started to come down again just as the compulsory pit stop window opened. The number 51 BMW for FIS Team AAI. Then it was the restart. Lin Kang taking over the car from Lo Ji Ho. Then a little bit of a touch. Rainy Her into the rear there of Wei Chun Yi, and this was Chris Cheer running too deep down at turn number 16. On the gas a bit early for David Pun in the Aston Martin. Up front though, Rainy Her continued to extend his lead. Chris Cheer facing second, working his way through. Thomas Erb very happy, the AMG boss, and of course that third place result for the number 87 entry. KTM of Wei Chun Yi and Liu Kai. This will take you through to the podium. There'll be multiple podiums, and then local time 2:10 p.m. It's about 50 minutes from now. Join us for round number 6 of GT3 and GTC for China GT. Don't go away. There'll be plenty to keep you entertained between now and then.
亲爱的各位观众朋友们，欢迎锁定我们这一时间段的比赛。这里是2019中国超级跑车锦标赛上海站，现在为您带来的是 GT4组别各组的比赛结果啊。那我们下面揭晓的是车队冠军，我们的Phantom Pro Racing。
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podium ceremony of GT4 Class of China GT Championship 2019 in Shanghai. The winning team goes to Phantom Pro Racing.
恭喜他们！那同样，我们揭晓组别前3的获得者。第3来自于我们的车号87号 SJ Motorsports 刘凯、魏天一。
Let's welcome the overall top 3 place getters of GT4 Class. The second runner-up goes to SJ Motorsports 刘凯 and 魏天一。
下面揭晓到的是第2名，来自于5号车手，那是我们的 Phantom Pro Racing Alex Phantom 的谢安。
The first runner-up goes to Phantom Pro Racing Alex Fatana and 谢安。
接下来揭晓的是第1名，车号6号车队组合 Phantom Pro Racing 何小乐、吕威。
The champion goes to Phantom Pro Racing 何小东and 吕威。
来，接下来的时间，我们有请我们的颁奖嘉宾移步舞台，有请瑞士高级腕表品牌 Q-Dance 创始人、董事长、市场部总监 Mr. Kelly
Let's welcome our presenter to award the top 3 place getters, Mr. Carlos Zoric, the co-founder, director, and CMO of Q-Dance.
有请我们的颁奖嘉宾为获奖者依次颁奖，把象征着荣耀和殊荣的奖杯传递到他们的手中。 这样的一个奖杯也代表了一种沉甸甸的意义。每一个奖杯也有其自己独特的属性、独特的价值、独特的。好，我们的领导呢，为我们的冠军车手拿上你们的殊荣，我们的车手们。 举起我们的奖杯，代表着胜利、荣耀。那接下来的时间，我们一起合影留念，好吗
？Let's take a photo together.
哇哦！有请我们的领导跟我们的车手们一起合影留念。Let's take a photo together. 让我们站在一起来，接下来的时间属于每位车手的香槟庆祝。
It's champagne time.
现场的朋友们，让我们用掌声和掌声点燃激情！那接下来的时间当中呢，我们的庆祝依旧在继续。GT4组的获奖的朋友们，获奖的车手们，以及我们现场的朋友们，也记住这难忘的瞬间。 好，我们在一起庆祝，在一起共同记住这难忘的瞬间。每个瞬间属于我们的车手，属于我们的赛道，属于每一位热爱 GT 的朋友。正是你们的热情，让我们的车手在赛道上冒雨前行，为我们传递更多的惊喜。 好，接下来的时间，我们继续为你带来GT4组 PA 的前3名。
Let's welcome the top 3 place getters of Pro AM Class.
首先是第3名，车号6518 GT 车组是我们的 Asia Sonic Racing Ifwater 以及潘君玲。
The second runner-up goes to Asia Sonic Racing, Eve Sport and Pan Junling.
第2名获得者车号5号，我们的 Phantom Pro Racing Alex Phantom 以及谢安。
The first runner-up goes to Phantom Pro Racing, Alex Phantom and 谢安。
第1名获得者车号6号 Phantom Pro Racing 何小乐、吕威。
The champion goes to Phantom Pro Racing 何小乐 and 吕威。
同样，我们有请我们的颁奖嘉宾，普达斯国际汽车内饰轻奢品牌总监刘国立。
Let's welcome our presenter to award the top 3 place getters, Mr. Liu Guolin, brand director of Pudasi International Light Extravagance Automotive Interior.
好，我们将奖杯一起传递到我们的车手手中。每个奖杯代表了他们的殊荣，代表了他们的汗水和拼搏。每个成就是我们内心最好的寄语。那有请我们的车手和我们的领导一起合影留念。
Let's take a photo together.
来，我们站在一起来。现场的朋友们，接下来就是我们的香槟时间。香槟呢？是的，香槟四射代表了我们的激情，代表了我们的燃烧，代表了我们对于赛道的渴望。也再一次感谢我们车手为我们呈现出来这精彩绝伦的赛事。那么颁奖依旧在继续，所以请现场的朋友们把目光锁定这里，这里是我们的颁奖区域，这里就是我们的颁奖盛典，让我们把目光锁定这里。好，下面的时间，我们下面为大家带来绅士组前3的获奖者。
Let's welcome the top 3 place getters of AA class.
获得第3的是49号，来自于我们 The Winning Team Ken Slim 蔡梦涛。
The second runner-up goes to the winning team, Kenneth Lim and 蔡梦涛。
第2的是车号3号 Phantom Pro Racing 杨希严闯。
The first runner-up goes to Phantom Pro Racing, Yang Xi and Yan Chong.
第1名的是87号 Extreme Motorsports 刘凯魏天一。
The champion goes to Extreme Motorsports 刘凯 and 魏天一。
让我们有请他们，接下来有请颁奖嘉宾，金港汽车文化发展北京股份有限公司品牌与体验事业部 BMW 精英驾驶体验总经理周永刚。来，让我们掌声有请我们的领导，让我们跟车手一起共同度过这难忘的时间，为我们的1、2、3名进行颁奖。好，我们站在一起来，共同记录下这一刻。这一刻属于每一位奋斗的朋友。来，我们站在一起来 ，take photo together。好，面向我们的镜头，举起我们的奖杯，现场的朋友们，你们的呐喊声。来，接下来的时间就是我们的小面时刻 ，It's 小面time。现场的每一位朋友们，我们的比赛依旧继续，同时我们的奖项也有，千万不要忘记了，在稍后的挑战赛之后呢，我们还有我们的 GT3以及 GTC 的比赛，也千万不要忘记我们的抽奖环节，为您带来各种各样的奖项，支持他们的朋友们，让我们再次用全场的热烈的掌声送给我们的车手们。